Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you're new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
We have started with the OAuth configuration. We saw the authorization core grant type implicit. Why implicit? Why not? Why not authorization core grant type? And then we saw the client controlled grant type and then the raw piece. These are the OAuth grant types we are going to configure in the OAuth. What we are going to do? We are going to start the OAuth configuration. Before testing this authorization core grant type or implicit grant type or OPC methodology, we are going to prepare the OAuth configurations. We did in SAML, if you remember, like SP connections, adapters, and then PCV data store selectors and policies. We did the same concept here. Can you go back to the Notepad on here? Till now, guys, everyone understood. Whatever we are discussing in this particular configuration, like till now, the OAuth workflows, and then the scopes we are using it, and then a different kind of token validation we are using. Everything is fine. Shall we configure? If you configure, you can able to understand. The configuration is fine. When we do the testing, you will have more understanding on this type of workflows. Let's do that. Now, can you? The OAuth process, like SIAM process we did, like step 1, step 2, step 3, like that. SP, connections, policy selectors, adapters, and PCV and data store we did. The same way we need to do for the OAuth also. The first one is OAuth client ID. Obviously, we need to come from the bottom to the top also. OAuth client ID, we can put it as a first. That means this is the last kind of a configuration in the OAuth. Second, OpenID Connect Policy Management. I already explained you. OIDC will be used as a top layer to the OAuth. Top layer to the OAuth means it is acting as a. In order to trigger the authentication for OAuth, OIDC is the one which will be used. And then, in order to do the token validation using the OpenID, we can also do that OIDC. Token validation and triggering the authentication for OAuth. The third one. The third one is known as we are going to do the policies. Fourth one is selectors. We already configured this one. If you remember policies we already configured. And then we also configured the selectors, the same concept. If you already configured means you don't need to configure again and again and again. Only one time. Configuration is fine. Fifth one is like access token mappings. Access token mappings. Token mapping is the same concept mappings. I will tell you what is this. Sixth one, just put it as a empty. Just put it as a empty. We will do that. Sixth one. Just go to the seventh one. No, sixth one, just put that and empty. Just give empty. Because that is the most important step in the OAuth configuration. Why I give it as empty means, when we do that direct configuration, you can able to understand that one. The seventh one is can able to put, like we got the access token mappings. And then sixth one is fine. Seventh one is adapters or policy contracts. Maybe you can put. we already configured the adapters and policy contracts. We can also, this step, we don't need to do it again. If you have the already configuration set up, that's fine. Now here, eighth one. Eighth one is obviously if it is adapters means, then what is the next step? Exactly. Then if it is a PCV, what is the ninth step? What is the ninth step, guys? If it is a PCV, then what is the next step? Exactly, data store. Now that will be like 11 steps will be there. Here, data store. And then the 10th one is access token management. Here in SAM, everything we did in a single ESP connection. In SAM, all the configurations, we did it in a single kind of a step. Everyone knows, like mapping of adapter or policy contract, we did it inside the ESP connection itself. And then getting the attributes and mapping to the SAM response, we did it in the same one. And then ESU also, we did it in the same connection. Updating the certificate also, we did it in the same ESP connection entity, ID, everything. We did it in a single SAML connection itself, ESP connection only. But in OAuth, why? There are like many steps are there. Means in SAML, all the configuration we did in a single one. But here in OAuth, the same configuration that has been split up into 4 different components. That is what the OAuth client ID connect policy management, access token mappings, and then the access token management. In access token management, we are going to create a variable. In SAM, we all know, in SAM, we are creating a variable. Like, if you want to send some attributes in the response, means we are sending like, for example, let's say we are sending the first name, last name. And that variable name we are creating at the starting of the CL itself, that is the one we did. Similarly, in order to send the attributes in the token, we can also send the like. We can also create the variables in the access token management. In SAML mapping, the certificate is the final step. But in OAuth, that is the fastest step. We will be doing it. And then mapping the adapter. In SAML, we are going to mapping the adapter of policy content. We will be doing it in a single SAML itself. Similarly, we will be doing it in the access token mappings. That is what the 5th step. Again, the OAuth client, the open ID policy. It won't be there for the SAML. It's just an extra step for the token validation. Then OAuth client ID, where you will be giving the in SAML, you are giving the profile. IDP initiated SOSPS initiated SOSD SURL, you are giving it, and then entity ID you are giving. The same way here in OAuth, we are going to give it in the OAuth client ID. That is the last and final step. Like we will be giving the redirect UI, what kind of a grant type we need to use, whether we need to use the client secret or not, and then the client ID. Client ID is a unique ID, that is the final step. 11th step is the last and final step is scope and scope management. These are all we will be doing it. One-time management only. That means one-time creation. We don't want to create. The 10 steps from 11 to cement, all configuration, only one-time configuration. All things are only one-time configuration. Only the OAuth client ID will get changed for each and every application, basically. If that is, application 1 means client ID 1, application number 2 means client ID number 2, like that it will get changed. Other configurations, it's the same configuration. We are going to do it only one time. If you configure it, we can use it for all the OAuth applications. Because we cannot create a separate token management, we cannot create a separate token manager for each and every application. Let's say 100 OAuth client. That means we cannot go and create a separate token manager or token mappings or OIDC policy. We cannot. We can able to do it. We can able to create a separate configuration, but if it is increasing, it will become a hectic process. You don't need to do that in the OAuth. In SAIL, we can send multiple attributes. We can send different whatever the attributes the application is asking. But for OAuth, we need to make sure only certain attributes you have to send. In OAuth, there is no concept of same subject action. And then optional address, we can pass it. But the application doesn't care about those things. They need that token they need that token after the successful authentication. That's all. The application needs some kind of a token after the successful authentication. And then, if they validate, we need to send the response as a success response. That is what the application required from the auth. Here we are going to start from the bottom to the top. There is one step in the middle, sixth one, that is the exact middle step. Like that will be the most important step when we do directly. We will see that one. Guys, maybe just put that name. IDP adapter / policy contract to persistent grant mapping. IDP adapter / policy contract / PCV to persistent grant mapping. To persistent grant mapping. In order to enable the mapping for access token, in order to do the fifth step, the sixth step is the prerequisite. Because we need to map the adapter or policy contract or PCV to map it into the access token. Because in order to do the authentication, we can either map the adapter or we can either map the policy contract. Any one of them we can use, but for OPC we need to use the PCV. Then only the authentication will happen. A client credential does not require any of these configurations. Only the OAuth client is required for the client credentials grant type. ROPC. Instead of mapping the adapter or policy contract, we will be mapping the PCV. For authorization code, grant type and implicit grant type, we require the adapter or policy contract to persistent grant mapping. We will do all of them. Don't worry. Let's go back to the console. Let's start from the 11th step. We can create as of now two scopes, OpenID and then the email. Can you go to the system? First of all, OAuth scopes. In the bottom, OAuth scopes is there. Yes. Create two scopes. One for OpenID, you can put the same description and add. Everything should be in lowercase. No, everything should be in lowercase. Yes. OpenID description also the same and then add it. This the scopes and all. We are not going to create it. The application team will ask for certain scopes. We will create it and pass it in the token. That is what. I'm just giving you. This is a default scope. We will be using it in the OAuth for the OpenID in order to do the token validation. There are 3 steps for token validation. Lightweight. One access token validation. Another one is OIDC token validation. Another one is certificate. In order to do the OIDC token validation, we will use the scope is equal to OpenID. Now, the second one is email. If you are sending, the scope is equal to email. It means it will send the email attribute in the token. That's why. Now save it. Save it, that's all. Now we created a scope. Now, what is the next step? Next one is access token management. Now let's go back to the applications there. Here in application, wait a minute. In the SIAM SP connections, there is only one configuration there. All the other details in SAML, only one. But here you could see OAuth. There are 4 configurations: OAuth Client's Token Manager, Token Mappings, and OIDC Policy Management. These are the 4. The same steps, but we have differentiated into 4 different steps. Click on Access Token Management. Create a new instance. We are going to create a new kind of a token manager. Can you give the name as token 1 like that? Give the instance ID also the same. There are 2 token types available in the Ping Federate. Duty, that is JSON Web Tokens, JWT tokens. The next one is internally, that is referenced, that is managed by the Ping Federate. One is OAuth Organization Token, that is a JSON Web Token. Even OAuth is also had an official partner with Java. And then internally managed reference token, that is for the Ping Federate. That is available only inside the Ping Federate configurations. First of all, we'll see the JSON. Next, we will see the internally managed reference tokens. Parents instance, nothing required. Click on Next. Now in SAM mapping, the certificate is the final step. But in OAuth, that is the fastest step in the OAuth. Mapping of the certificate. Here, one case is that certificate, it's an asymmetric algorithm. It's an asymmetric keys, not the symmetric. But in OAuth, we can do the symmetric keys also. I mean, if you have the symmetric keys, you can also use the symmetric keys to validate the token. But they won't be used we won't use the symmetric keys because it's already having. We are having the validation token AP. I call to validate the token. The option is there, but we won't use that one much because symmetric keys is not that much kind of a secured one. For certificates, you can add a new row to the certificates. That's the key, ID stay. No, not the symmetric keys. Symmetric keys, you can cancel it. It won't work. We don't have any symmetric keys. No. Create it. Token. Kusoli. That's not at all a problem. Here, add a new row to the certificates. Add the signing certificate which we already created. In the hand side, just in the drop-down, add the certificate. That is a SAL certificate which we are using. We can use the same signing certificate also for the OAuth. No, just give some name for that. Maybe certificate or cert or something like that. OAuth. Each token will have an expiration time. This is a temporary token. This token is also known as transient grant. Transient grant means it's temporary because it is having a validity of 120 minutes. If the token is expired, it means that's all. The user will get logged up from the system. The default timer 20. If the application is asking for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, it means you can give according to that, but don't give more than 6 hours or 7 hours or 8 hours. We should not give more than that. Now here JWS algorithm. That is JSON Web Token algorithm. You can use that RS2IP6 method. The encryption algorithm, we are going to use it in the token. That is RS256 method. That is the one which we need to use every time. Now here active signing certificate. Key ID is there. Whatever the key ID which we used above, use the same thing. Scroll down. Click on Next. Nothing required. Those are all optional details we don't require. Click on Next. Once you click on Next, there are 4 options are there in the section 1. This is you could see. This is also known as session validation. But here normally in Ping period, we are not going to do any session validation. That has been taken care by the application side itself, but still you could see include session identifier in access token. But the session identifier is already there in the adapter itself. You don't need to provide it in the access token. The application team does not require that one because they are already doing it in the adapter itself. Then check for valid authentication session. You know who is going to do the check for valid authentication session, guys. In Ping period, who is doing the valid authentication checking? When you try to access the application, who is checking whether the application, whether the session is already there or not? No, don't enable that one. Don't enable that one. It's already checked by the adapter itself. The adapter is the one which is going to do the single sign on, that is triggering the username and password. The HTML adapter or HT2P basic adapter, the MEFE, those are already taken care by the adapter itself. You don't need to specifically put it there in the access token. Also, similarly, session revocation status, that can be done by the single logout. You don't need to provide it here. These configurations are there if you want to put all the details in the token. But these configurations are already taken care by the adapt itself. You don't need to specifically put it here. We can directly click on next. Now, this is the one we are going to extend the variable. If you want to send the given name means the first name variable, we will be creating it in the SAML the same way we are going to do it in the OAuth also. What attributes we can send? Maybe we can send first name, last name and UID mail mobile number. 5 details can we send it? You can send the 5. Variable name only we are creating it, but the values we will be mapping it in the next step. Mail and then the mobile number. And click on next. Oh no, no one more value. No, go back. All done. In SAML there is an option called base URL. If you have application having a base URL, you can add it there. Similarly, if the application is having any base URL, you can add it here. If you don't want to add it, we can also ignore it empty because we are going to put it there in the redirect URL. That is in the client ID, we are going to use it. If you are using it in the client ID, then we can ignore it. Here we can leave it as it is. Click on next. Now restrict all other clients. Here if the application, there are like 10 client IDs are there. You already have 15 applications in the OAuth. You are using only one token manager. And then that is like, one application is coming and asking, hey, Ping rating, we need OAuth for 5 different client IDs. They are asking. They are saying they are having 5 applications. Each one is a child to one application. They are asking 5 different client IDs, OAuth client IDs. And they are asking to generate a separate token manager for them. You can also use the existing one, but if the application is asking for a separate one, which you can have it. And the application is also asking, don't use this token manager for any other application. They are asking, if the application giving this kind of a requirement, don't use the application token manager for any other application, means we can restrict those clients. We can create a token manager, add those client ID to. Here means only for those client ID, this access token manager will be visible. For other client ID, this token manager, it won't be visible. But generally this one is not that much used because we are the one who will choose the token manager. They are. Just want to confirm if we are the one who is going to do the map, the token manager to the client ID. We know if the application is asking not to use this particular token manager to any other client, that means we know. When we do a new application, we know this token manager. We should not use it. We know what we need to do. But if by ourselves, if we did some mistake, means by mistake only, we may use this token manager to other applications also. To overcome that, we can restrict here. But this is not that much required. Click on Next. But these options are there in the Ping for the OAuth. Now we successfully created an access token manager. Scroll down and let's save it. In Access Token Manager, one of the most important steps adding the variable names and then adding the certificate. These are the two things we will be doing it in the Access Token Manager. Now what is the next step? Can you go back to the the notepad which we did? Here what we did the Access Token Manager scope management done. Data store is already there. PCV is already there. Adapters and COM policy contract is already there. We can use the existing configuration. Now can you go to the access token mapping? Let's wait for the sixth step. We will go for a fifth step. In the left hand side access token mappings are there. Can you click on that one? Here you could see, in the hand side you can map that token manager. Whatever the token manager in the hand side, we can able to choose it. Can you choose the token manager there in the drop down? That is a token manager we created. But in the left hand side there is no adapter. We created a lot of adapters. There are 4 adapters we created. And then there are different policy contracts we have. And one PCV also was there, but nothing visible here. Nothing here. It's empty. You can ignore the default and client connection. That is empty. That's fine. But where is the adapter policy, contracts, and then the PCV? We have created a lot of adapters, but nothing showing here. That is what, in order to show the adapters, policy, contract, and PCV, we are going to do the 6th step. That is what in the number 6 step, whatever we are going to do it. Here, in order to reflect the adapter policy contract and then the PCV, here we are going to do the number 6 step, step number 6. Can you go back? What is the step number 6 there? Here are IDP adapter / policy contract / PCV to the persistent grant mapping. We need to do this step. If we didn't do the step, we cannot be able to do the access token mappings. Now can you go back and let's do it. Authentication, yes, in the hand side bottom corner, there is a policy contract. No, hand side bottom corner. Policy contract grant mapping. Click on that one. Here you can see policy contract. Here in the left hand side, this tab for the policy contract to the persistent grant mapping. In the left hand side IDP adapter, grant mapping is there. That option is for the mapping, the adapter. And then the PCV is also there. Resource owner credential grant mapping. For mapping the PCV, you can ignore the CIBA. That is not for the Ping Federate. That is for the Ping Access. That is a different tool. Only 3 options for the Ping Federate. There are certain things in Ping Federate that has been included to the other tool, not related to the Ping Federate tools. Here, first of all, let's map the policy contract. Let's do the policy number 1 and then add mapping. Here, click on Next. No, we don't require to add attribute source. We can directly click on Next. We are doing this step as a dummy one, just in order to reflect there. We are adding this mapping. But they're asking to map some values to user underscore key and user underscore name. Just you can map the policy contract subject to this one. This one, we are not going to use it anywhere. Just for mapping procedure, this step is there. You can map the authentication policy contract and subject. User underscore key, user underscore name. We are not going to use it anywhere at any point. Subject only. Because the subject is later replaced by the username of an adapter in the policies. Click on Next. Next and save it. Now we successfully created a policy contract mapping. Can you do the same step for the adapter mapping also? Maybe add the HTML form adapter or composite adapter. Maybe add the composite. That would be enough. Add mapping, yes. Now click on Next. Do the same step, adapter username. Can you do the same thing for the PCV also? Let's add the PCV in the left-hand side. PCV username. And then click on Next and save it. Good. Now any one of the three configurations we did. Now can you go back to the access token mappings and then see the drop down there? Now how many configurations? No application. Access token mappings. Now can you see the drop down? Now you could see the policy contract and then the adapter, composite adapter, and then the PCV. Everything comes, just map the policy contract and then map it to the token. What are the attributes? We are going to get it from the LDAP for the token. Given name SNMA mobile. Can you add the attribute source? And then you need to add it and then get the attributes from the LDA and then put it there. I think you can get it from the PD thing directly. You can give anything. That's fine. The source ID and source description, you can put anything. That's not at all a problem. Finally, it should have to work, that's all. The authentication should have to happen. Click on Next. Oh, can you check the Ping directory service is running or not? Is it not running? Can you do start type? You are in bin folder. Yes, it's space start type and server. I think the service is not running. Start type and server. Yes, it's space start type and server. I think you can do the LDAP search also. Just do the LDAP search. No, you are in Ping directory only. No, don't do the status. You can do the start type and server directly. .sh anyways, that's fine. It will work. It would take some time to start. Now what happened? It's already running the Ping directory service. But why it is showing it is not running there? Let me check the status once. Status dot. Option 5 scene is equal to directory manager. It's running only, but why it is not communicating there? It's running only. Can you go? What is that? there is a problem connecting to the data store. Just do it again. Let's see. Click on next. As of now, can you go back to the system and see the data store LDAP, DLLDAP? Let's go back to the system. Data store, PDIF and LDAP here. Instance configuration. Do the testing connection. LDAP configuration, there is no. Scroll down, test it. Oh, is that a? Can you check whether the host name got changed or not? Now can you go back to the services that status.sgu did? Can you go there and see the host name? Can you copy and put it there? I think it changed to the same original one, the host name. Again, it's weird why the host name is getting changed. Can you go back and see that one there? Copy that. And can you go back to the direct Ping Federal console? Let's Control F and oh, it is changed again. It's changed to the previous, the one we have. And that's weird why it is getting changed again and again. That's weird. Add both of them there. No, you need to cancel that one. Cancel it, yes, add it. Yes, set as default. Scroll down and test it. No, the new one is also not working. It's not working. Can you check again? Test the connection. Why this weird host name issues coming on? Here the host name is this and again here it's different. But here it's a different host name. Can you copy that one also? Anya's air autocollet. I wonder what is this one for? Hopefully over here. Should we change the port number and check? No. Just only the host name is fine. But I don't know why this many times host names are getting changed. I think that's why that this is related to the Mac OS and all. Yes, that is already there. No, add it. Scroll down and let's see. Can you do the LDAP search? LDAP search is working or not? And that's totally weird. Go back. Go back to the console. This is why that I don't know why host names are getting changed. Is that, can you go back to the command prompt and put host name? Just enter host name. Type host name. Let's see. Oh, can you copy this one? Is that a different one again? No, it's the same previous one. Oh, I thought. Can you copy that? Oh, it's the same. It's already there. Is there any space there? Can you edit that one in the top? No. The second one. Second one. Can you delete the first one? Cancel this. Can you delete the first one? Make the second one as a default. Delete the third one. Now here. Up. That's all. Can you scroll down and test it? This is totally weird. Can you click on edit? 636. Put 1389. Remove that use, yield a PS, uncheck that box. Scroll down and test it. Oh, is that a certificate? Not there. That is weird. Can you save it? And let's see the certificate. Go back and go to the security process here. What is the certificate we did? Which one is spring-fed here? The second one. And can you click on the second certificate? I think that is related to this one. What is the subject alternative name? You could say, I got the issue. It was valid until only February 14. No, it's in the sand. No, the sand. If you see the subject alternative name in the top, and then if you see the host name, the certificate is totally different. Because of the host name got changed, that's the certificate is not working for the host name, which we did. You could see the host name is not working. The CN and as well as the subject name and then the subject alternative name, that is no unusual macro allocal. It's a different one. Because of the host name got changed, the certificate, that's why it is not working. And just let's go. Like I mean here the certificate, because of the certificate got changed, sorry, not because of the host name got changed. The existing certificate was not working. I don't know why it got changed. Previously, did you connect it to two different network configurations like Wi-Fi or something like that? It's the same. Maybe once I connected with the hotspot, that could be the problem. I'm not sure. But not for the cloud. Anyways, that's not a problem. Let's continue there from there. Should we import a new certificate over here or should we do something? We cannot be able to create a new certificate. Let it be there. We can ignore that one. Can I go to the applications? Yes, authentication will work. Can I go to the access token mappings? Let's do the mapping now. Policy contract. Choose the token manager and then go. Click on next. Get the attributes the same. This equal to example, comma. This equal to comma. Only get the attributes and then continue. Mail given name, mobile UID, yes and no. Here, what will be the value? the filter. It's already given the same filter in the SAIL. You can use the same filter. Only difference is that instead of normally, we will be putting subject here, app subject, we will be putting it. Scroll down. Yes, click on next and save it. You can save it directly. Then we can map the values. Can you map the values? Eligible name, last name is yes and no. Do the same thing. Mail is mail. Mobile number is mobile. Now we have configured this one. What is the next step, guys? Can you go back to the next step? Access token mapping is done. Now, what is our next step? Only 2 steps are pending. I think policies and selectors, we already have it. You don't need to worry about it. Policies and selectors. Can you go back and check the policies and selectors? Everything is in proper place or not? Can you go to the authentication and then the policies? Policy number 1. HT, any of that's fine. It will work. No, 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 that's this one, this one. No, no. I think that is Sam. Any of this, let's see. Let's do it. Configure the steps. When we do the testing, we will change the policy. Let's go back to the applications. Now, what is the next one? What is the next one? What is the next step? OpenID Connect Policy Management. Click on that one. This is going to see why we see policy. Whatever we are going to do it. Policy. Policy, you can give open ID 1. And then you can also give the same name. Here what happens there is, in OAuth, the output is the access token. The output of the response. That means the response of this oath. It's an access token. We can call it as an access token. But that is, one more token will be generated. That is, it won't be visible for it is only visible for the artificial code grant up. It won't be visible for implicit or it won't be visible for raw PC or client credentials. This ID token, what it will do? It will, ID token will get generated if the authentication happened. It's not successful. The authentication happened means username and password has been triggered by the user, triggered by the application. That means if the adapter is triggered, means the ID token one token will get generated. One token will get generated. That token is known as the ID token. ID token is nothing but to make sure the authentication is happened for the user. It is not going to have success or failure because success or failure it has been done by the access token. That token will be valid for 5 minutes. That is why the token is ID token. Lifetime is 5 minutes. Choose the access token manager which we already created. Here in order to this session identifier, it's already the same case which we did in the access token mapping site. We didn't enable any of the option. We can also ignore this option also. Now the second step is there. Include user info in ID token. In order to do the validation of the OpenID, like token validation using the OIC. In order to do that one, this option should be there. Choose the second option. The second option will be used for in order to do the token validation using the OIC. If the application does not use that, token validation by using this OIDC, means this option is not required. Click on Next. Now here, there are different values. Here, whatever this one is for the validation, whatever the attributes you are passing it in the token, what are the attributes you are passing it in the access token, guys? What are the attributes? And guys, now only we did. First name, last name, mail address, UID, and then the mobile number, the same attributes. We need to pass it to the token also. The same attributes. We need to pass it to the token also. But one irritating step in the OAuth is there. We need to send only the given name, only the last name, only the mail, and then mobile UID. There are like all the attributes also. It will show it here. We are not going to do this. This one, why we are doing it means after validation, after successful, mean when we do the validation of the token, in that result, in the success response, we will be giving the attributes of that particular token. Whatever the token attributes are there in the token, we will send that values in the OIDC validation. This is only for the token validation using this OIDC, not for access token validation. That is, 3 ways are there. One is certificate access token validation as a grant type. One more is OIDC token validation. Only this step is only for the OIDC token as a validation. When the application is calling the OIDC token validation, when they call that API, we will be sending the success response as 200, success code as 200. Along with that, we will also pass whatever the attributes in the access token. We are going to pass it in that success 200 response also. That is why we are getting that attribute and passing it in the like. We are passing it in the success validation response. Can you delete all the things? Just keep first name, last name, mail, mobile, UID. You can keep the email. Email verified, you can delete it. Family name, that's the last name. Given name, you can use it. Logo, you can delete it. Middle name, you can delete it. Name, you can delete it. Nickname, you can delete it. Phone number also, you can keep the phone number. Verified, you can delete it. Picture, you can delete it. Preferred username also, you can delete it. Profiler, delete it. Update it. These are the attributes, website and zone info. Everything you can delete it only. That is no like which one is missing. Can you do the UID here? Just add UID and then add it. Click on Next. Add the scope. We need to add the scope. We need to add the scope is equal to open ID. Add the scope is equal to open ID. And pass all the attributes in order to do the OIDC validation. Add. Click on Next. No, only one scope is enough. We don't need to add any other scope. Click on Next. This one is not required. Let's map it. Give the source as token. We need to get the same value from the token to this value. Choose a token. Email is email. Family name means last name. Get the value from the token. This one, guys, this one only for the access token validation by using the OIDC call. If you are not using the OIDC call, all of these things are not required. Subject, you can also use the same thing, UID. It's not a subject, it's a SCB. Click on Next and save it. Now we configure the OIDC policy also. What is the next and final step? What is the last and final step? OAuth client ID. This is where we are going to give the grant type. We are going to give the client secret, client ID redirect UI, and then the token manager, which we created, and then the OIDC policy, which we created. Let's do it. In the left-hand side, clients are there. That is the OAuth clients. Use that one. Add a client here. No, as of now, there is no client ID. We need to create it. First of all, shall we do the authorization code grant type, guys? Client type NIH. I'm just giving a name. You can also give any name. Client type NAUT, it means that's a client ID for the authorization code grant type. Description. You can also use the same thing. Like in SAML, there are contact details. Contact person details was there. You can also mention the same here. The contact person details here in the description. Now the client authentication, we can use the client secret. Under the client secret is there. Click on the change secret. You can also give some secret there, or you can also generate some secret automatically. If you click on generate secret, automatically one value will get generated. That is too long. Can you delete that one? You can give one test, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. But in our organization, you can create a generate secret there. Don't give test 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. No, don't give it in the uppercase. Like we are doing the testing. Everything, just keep it simple. Scroll down. Scroll down. No, those are all optional details only. Redirect to URL is there. Can you add the redirect URL there? Maybe what kind of no, you need to add it. Empty field, it won't be there. Can you give some URL? Maybe HTTPS. No, you need it. It should have to start from HTTPS only. https://KuCoin. We can use the same thing. Add. Now here that is bypass. One option was there. Bypass authorization approval. That bypass authorization approval, I will tell you what is this one. When we do the testing, we can able to understand what is this bypass. We will see that one. As of now, don't check this box. We will see. This one will be available only in the testing. Now, what is the scope? We are going to use it here. Restrict that scope. Click on restrict there. We are going to use which scope we are going to use. Scope is equal to OpenID. If the application team is asking for OpenID, you need to restrict the scope is equal to OpenID. Scroll. What is the grant type? I'm going to use it. Authorization code grant type. First one will use the authorization code grant type. Then we'll move on to the implicit. Then we'll move on to the client condition, row PC refresh token, and then access token validation also. Choose the token manager which we have created. As I already mentioned, that is a PKC method is there. Authorization code granted with the PKC. You could see there is an option called require proof key for code exchange. If you want to use the PKC method with authorization code grant, you need to check this box. We will also test it later. Scroll down. As I already mentioned, refresh token. These settings are there. These are the settings for the refresh token concept. We will see when we do the refresh token. As of now, just leave it as it is. We will do we will explain this one when we do the refresh token. Because the refresh token is a separate one, but we will be using it along with the authorization code grant type or like a OPC grant type. Scroll down. Can you do the OpenID policy also? to the policy. Choose the policy in the drop-down. No, not that one, just let it be the default. The policy details is there, the default policy. Choose the OpenID policy, scroll down and save it. That's all. Now, we successfully created an OAuth configuration. We successfully created an OAuth configuration for the authorization code grant type. Here up to the second step, you can use the existing one only one-time configuration. Only the OAuth client ID. It will get different for each and every kind of application. You don't need to create a separate access token manager or access token mapping or OIDC policy. You can, if there is any kind of exceptional application cases there, means you can create a separate token manager. But if it is not there, means you can use the existing configuration itself. Till now understood, guys, whatever we did. Let's create the access token validation also. We need one separate client ID for validating the token. Can you add a client? Client access token. This is access token validation. We are going to use it. This is for validating the access token. This is for validating the access token. To the client secret. Can you create a separate client secret? You can also use the test 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't require any kind of redirect URL, nothing required, only the grant type access token validation. This is like a dummy client ID only to validate whether the no redirect URL, nothing required. You don't need to do the redirect URL for this one. Scroll down. Just put the client grant type. No, that is all. No, nothing is required. Just add the not authorization code. We are going to use the token validation. Access token validation, the last one. Here we are going to validate the token. By using this client ID, we are going to validate the token. Save it directly. Nothing required. This is just simple this is like a dummy client ID. We are going to use this access token validation to validate any kind of a client ID. Till now what we did, scope management, access token management, data store, PCV, adapter policy contracts, IDP adapter / policy contract / PCV to persistent grant mapping, access token mappings, select us policies and then OID's policy, then the final OAuth client ID we created. This is how we can able to do the configuration for the OAuth. Only these 10 steps like only one-time configuration. Only the client ID will get changed for each and every application. I think now we will stop it here. Tomorrow what we can do? We will test the authorization core grant type first of all, then we will test the implicit, then we will test the IOPC, and then we will test the client result. Mostly like tomorrow itself. I think we can test mostly like we can try to complete testing all the grant types because it's easy to do the testing. Or the core grant types, we will try to test it. Once we complete it day after tomorrow, we'll do the refresh token PKC method and then the OAuth scopes. And then on Friday, we will do the postman and then we will also do the clustering part. And then we will wrap it up. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightupptalk.com.